Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to Rob's Rig. I thought it would be interesting to go out and have a look at some common mistakes that Jeep Wrangler owners make. Now, there's really three areas for this: mechanical, maintenance, maintenance and ownership, I guess, and modifications. That's a big one for me because I'm always concerned that if I go to do some kind of a mod, change out the bumper, maybe add some kind of electrical accessory, something like that, that I'm going to cause myself a problem. And I'm always looking for check engine lights. So let's run through the three categories, I guess, here and see what are the common mistakes that Jeep Wrangler owners make. We're going to start off with mechanical and driving mistakes. Number one, engaging four-wheel drive on dry pavement. You know, this one is interesting because you're supposed to put your system into four-wheel drive like once a month for 10 miles. And if you don't have access to dirt, where else are you going to do it? So what does it say? It says using part-time four-wheel drive, high or low, on dry asphalt binds the drivetrain. It causes severe tire scrubbing, axle hopping, and catastrophic transfer case failure. I think the key here is if you're going to put your Jeep into four-wheel drive on pavement, to take off slowly and avoid sharp turns. Everything should be gentle. And the only reason you want to do that is to just keep everything lubricated, right? Now, kind of hard to drive 10 miles following those recommendations, right? I mean, you're going to have turns, you're going to have stops and starts, and I think just doing it for a short period or a short distance is probably enough. Number two, neglecting the front axle disconnect. Failing to service or check the front axle components leads to premature wear. This causes the notorious death wobble, a violent steering wheel vibration. And I've told this story before. I was driving down the freeway once and I saw a Jeep at speed and all four tires were doing this as they were driving at 55, 65 miles an hour. I don't know how it wasn't driving them nuts. I don't even know how they were controlling it, but I definitely am familiar with it. You definitely want to avoid that. Lifting without correcting geometry. This is a big problem, particularly on some other vehicles like the Toyota Tacoma. Installing a suspension lift without upgrading control arms or track bars ruins the steering alignment. This creates dangerous highway handling and rapid tire wear. Now, one of the biggest problems with the new Tacoma now is doing the lift, a level lift, and then you've got a toe-in issue with the tires. It's going to wear your tires out, bad for steering. You definitely want to avoid that on the Jeep or any other vehicle if you're going to lift it, right? Next up, over-torquing suspension bolts. Tightening suspension bushings while the Jeep is still on jack stands locks them in a twisted position. This tears the rubber bushings prematurely once the vehicle is lowered. So basically, if you're going to do the lift yourself, or if you're at a good shop, they should know this, but you want to torque everything while it's down under its own weight, right? You don't want to torque bolts while they're flexing a weird way on the suspension because it's up on jacks. It makes perfect sense, really. The next category is maintenance and ownership mistakes. These are things that you and I do, right? Ignoring soft top care. Washing fabric soft tops or vinyl windows with harsh dish soaps or abrasive brushes scratches the plastic permanently. Man, I have seen this so many times, especially on the windows. I don't happen to have a soft top, but if you do, scratches so bad that you can't even see out of them anymore. It's horrid. It also strips the UV protective coating, causing premature cracking. Another thing that I've seen, you know, anybody that wonders on an older Jeep or that's not been well taken care of why they might have water coming in, look at your plastic windows. I mean, if they're all cracked, well, that's probably the reason. Storing wet tops and dry doors. Folding down a wet soft top or storing removable doors in damp areas traps moisture. Never good. This breeds mold, rots the stitching, and rusts the door hinges and pens. I've seen a lot of complaints about people talking of rust and things on the hinges, those that take them off. That's probably why. I think when you remove the bolts, first of all, you're exposing bare metal. you're not going to keep paint on something you screw in, right? And then you're going to have a rust issue. Using excess high pressure wash inside. Assuming the entire interior can be hosed down because of floor drain plugs is a mistake. You can't just take your floor mats out, open the Jeep, take out those floor plugs in the bottom, and they are there on every Jeep, and then just hose the hell out of it, right, with some high pressure spray. High pressure water easily ruins the dashboard electronics, clock springs, and under seat wiring harnesses. You can't spray electrical equipment basically, and I would think your best bet, if you've got to clean out your Jeep with any kind of water, is to put it on a rag with a spray bottle, wipe it down. Don't spray it out with a high pressure hose. Next, neglecting door hinge lubrication. Aluminum doors paired with steel hinge pins trigger galvanic corrosion. That's kind of where the metals react with each other and cause a problem. Failing to apply anti-seize lubricant causes the doors to permanently seize in place. This is an area where I think a lot of people run into problems who don't take their vehicles in to be serviced at the dealership. You know, they're going to take care of things like that, but if you do your own maintenance and you're not aware, you're probably not. The last category is modifications and off-roading errors. Number 1, adding heavy armor on stock springs. Bolting on heavy steel bumpers, winches, and tire carriers without upgrading the factory springs causes the suspension to sag. This drastically reduces ride comfort and ground clearance. If you're going to add a bunch of extra heavy stuff to your Jeep, you've got to upgrade the components that are holding it, right? Or those that are affected by the extra weight. Leaving tires fully inflated off-road. Running highway tire pressures, 35 plus PSI, on rugged trails delivers a brutal bone-jarring ride. Well, that's true, but that doesn't really hurt the Jeep, does it? It also drastically reduces traction and increases the risk of puncturing a tire sidewall. That's, I think, one of the biggest reasons you got to air down, right? So that you can kind of roll over those ruts and potentially rugged or sharper things. Overloading the tailgate. Mounting a heavy 35-inch or larger spare tire onto the factory tailgate hinges causes the sheet metal to sag, crack, and rattle over time. It's one thing that I looked at on our last Jeep. We put bigger, heavier wheels and tires on it, and I did put a heavier duty carrier on there because I knew this could be a problem. You got to do that. You can't just remove what's already on your Jeep if it's a smaller, lighter tire and put something giant and heavy on there without reinforcing anything, right? Lastly, buying cheap LED headlights. Oh my God, I've seen this. Upgrading to cheap unbranded LED headlights creates a blinding glare for oncoming traffic. They also lack internal heaters, meaning they freeze over completely during winter storms. I've heard a lot of complaining about this. People that are out driving around in slushy, heavy snow, ice, whatever, the headlight becomes covered. There's nothing in there to melt it because LEDs put out like little to no heat, right? You got to make sure that you get something that's of good quality. And I know there's a lot of knockoff parts and things out there that cost less money, but there's a reason they cost less money, right? Anyway, those are just a few common mistakes, I guess, that Jeep Wrangler owners make. Leave a comment. Let me know if you were aware of these and whether you've actually experienced any yourself. I'd be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.